All right, this is part two, and I was going into how the Egyptians look like the Israelites. All right, from their complexion and of course their hair. Right, they were of brown flesh and of woolly hair and curly hair. All right, and that's why as I said in the previous video, the Lord had put a difference between the Egyptians and the children of Israel. In the modern day Egyptians now would be the so-called Sudanese people, all right? And in fact, the majority of the pyramids are in Sudan. They're not in the country known as Egypt. This is Acts 21:38. Art not thou that Egyptian which before these days made us an uproar and led us out into the wilderness 4,000 men that were murderers. All right. But Paul said, I am a man which am a Jew of Tarsus. All right. So they mistaken the Apostle Paul for an Egyptian. And the Apostle Paul is from the tribe of Benjamin. All right. And that term Jew was started in Babylon. All right. Which are Assyrians. Um, they just called Judah, Benjamin, Levi. They all put them in the same category as Jew. All right. Which is a term for Judah. Let's just make that point. Because the Apostle Paul is from the tribe of Benjamin, all right, which be known today as so-called West Indians, man. Let's get that right there. All right, of Judea, Judean. All right, so it's just going into not this ish. All right, that means to be likened unto something. All right, but as you can see right there, a race. It's not a religion; it's a race. All right. Um, a better way of showing what I mean is this right here. As you can see right here, of the descendants of Judah, all right, a Judite, all right, which is talking about the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, because Judah represents as a whole the southern kingdom and is also the head tribe over the southern and the northern kingdom, all right. So that word Jew is synonymous with Judah and the southern kingdom, and or the southern kingdom, I should say. Now let's dive a bit deeper into let's go into ruddy, man, because that's another thing that these devils, these Edomites have tried to say is talking about their leprous complexion. So this is First Samuel 16:12, and it reads, "And he sent and brought him in. Now he was ruddy, and withal of a beautiful countenance, and goodly to look to. And Yahweh said, Arise, anoint him, for this is he." And this is talking about King David. Now, when you go into that word ruddy, is going into a reddish brown. All right. Let's get it. And it's gonna. I think this is the one that lists a few animals. Um, actually, no, this is the one that says like Esau. Esau had leprosy, man. This is going off right here because you go into King Solomon. I think it's King Solomon when he was called Ruddy, which is the offspring of King David. It lists animals that are ruddy. All right. Esau was not ruddy; he was red. All right. It's a difference. Um, just to make that point, let's get the one with King Solomon, which is the offspring, the son of King David. All right. So this is King Solomon right here. This is songs of Solomon 5 and 10. My beloved is white and ruddy, the chiefest among 10,000. And before I go into ruddy, let's get that Strong's on that word white right there, because it's not literally talking about the literal color white. All right. So it's going into dazzling, glowing, clear, bright. All right. So it's talking about, glowing. See what I'm saying? Glowing. That's like, could be spiritual power, right? Or sunlight or light reflecting off your skin, all right, and make it glow. Now let's go into that word ruddy right there. Now we go into ruddy. It says red ruddy of a man, a horse, a heifer, a garment, water, or lentils. So King David was the color of what a horse can be, a heifer, which is a female cow, or a female bull, ox, whatever you want to say, a garment, water, and lentils. Now let's just look up all those things, right? Let's start with a horse. All right. So a ruddy horse. So ruddy horse. So you go into a ruddy horse, and as you can see, it's a reddish brown. This is ruddy, all right? Reddish brown. Now let's do a ruddy heifer. Again, another reddish brown color. It's not pale, translucent. You know what I'm saying? Leprosy, pretty much. You so-called white people. This is not. That's not ruddy. That's just plain out leprosy, man. All right. I never looked up ruddy water before. I'm pretty sure it just looked like some muddy water. Um, well, ruddy duck. So you got a ruddy duck right there. Even though I typed in ruddy water. Now let's do lentils. Got that right there. So as you can see, all these things are the exact same color, right? But if you type in ruddy man, you're gonna see an Edomite. As you can see right here, it's a straight up Edomite, man, and it says ruddy complexion. That's Esau in his wickedness. I think at first when you used to type in ruddy, I don't know if it was ruddy man, but when you would type in ruddy and then something, well, this is what I was finna say. So as you can see, that's just straight up leprosy. All right, that appears to be a Jake. You can tell by the facial features that's more than likely a Jake. Um, that has vitiligo, or he was born like that, just like Esau. So this is not ruddy. This is straight up leprosy, man. This is leprosy too. This is leprosy. Um, Now this is ruddy, like we just saw previously. These two, I'm assuming they're brothers. Especially this one on the left. They're. This is ruddy. This is how King David and King Solomon were looking like, man. That's what the scriptures are pertaining to when it means ruddy. All right, and let me get a few more on that point. Let's go to Lamentations 4 and verse 7. Her Nazarites were purer than snow, they were whiter than milk, they were more ruddy in body than rubies, their polishing was of sapphire. Now let's go into that word um, whiter right there, just to make a point. It's going to say the same thing with King Solomon, all right, to be glowing, all right. Now let's go into that word ruddy. It is pretty much going to go into the same thing, man, all right. Dyed red like a garment, right? So they were ruddy, just like King David, King Solomon, all right. And one more that is not necessarily going into ruddy, but it's when you look at the stones mentioned, it looks very similar. This is Lamentations 4 and I mean Salakia, not Lamentations 4 and 3. Revelations 4 and 3. And it reads, and he that sat was to, and he that sat is talking about the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls God. And he that sat was to look upon like a jasper and a sardine, might be sardine, but I believe it's sardine, like a jasper and a sardine stone. All right. And there was a rainbow round about the throne inside like unto an emerald. So when you go into a jasper and sardine stone, it looks very similar to the color ruddy, man. All right. You know, it's some brown and red mixed up in there. Got Jake bringing out the word. As you can see right there, it has where it says the Heavenly Father has woolly hair, Daniel 7 and 9, and then so these are the two descriptions of the Heavenly Father in the scriptures, where it mentions what he looks like, what his look, what appears when he, what he looks like, from a complexion standpoint, and his hair texture standpoint. All right, and as you can see, these two stones is what reddish brown, man, and like I said in the previous video, hair like the pure wool, Daniel 7 and 9. Now, let's go to speaking of the Heavenly Father. The Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai, looks like the Heavenly Father. Let's make that point. This is Colossians 1 and 15, who is the image of the invisible power, the firstborn of every creature. So the Heavenly Father has his image on earth as Yahweh Shai, man. Now let's go into, I'm going to end this off with the description of Yahweh Shai. All right. This is Revelations 1 and 13. In the midst of the seven candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and a gird about the paps with a golden girdle. So the heavenly Yahweh Shai has a garment that's down straight to his feet. All right. So the garment stops at his foot, and he has a girt about the paps with a golden girdle. So he's wearing a golden belt, and his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow. So the Heavenly Father, as we read Daniel 7 and 9 in the previous video, he has hair like the pure wool. So automatically, Yahweh Shai has woolly hair. This is talking about his hair literally being woolly and white, which by default makes the Heavenly Father's hair, Yahweh, white and woolly, as white as snow. And his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace. So the heavenly Yahweh Shai's feet was a dark brown color, man. All right, a very dark brown color. You can even argue that it could be black, literally. All right, because if you take a metal that's already brown, brass is already a brown color to begin with. Let's get that, and then you just straight up burn it. That's gonna make it even darker, a darker brown. So as you can see, brass is a similar color. All right, let's see. So this is brass right here. As you can see, it's already a brown light complexion. Now imagine if you burn this in the oven, man, and then it comes out. What is it going to be? It's going to come out looking like I think it's called burnished brass, which is straight up brown, man. All right. Now, Yahweh Shai's complexion was again mentioned in Daniel, the 10th chapter. And in Daniel, the 10th chapter, it dives a little bit deeper into Yahweh Shai, how he was dressing, all right, and everything going into that, his appearance. This is Daniel 10 and 6. His body also was like the beryl, so that gives context that the garment that Yahweh Shai was wearing was the color burl, which is a greenish color. And just to make the point home right here, because I'm jumping around, um, you're supposed to uh, go back and forth in the scriptures, man. This is Isaiah 28 and 10, Isaiah 28 and 13, actually. But the word of Yahweh was unto them precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. All right? That they might go and fall backward and be broken and snared and taken. So these scriptures is a puzzle, man. It's supposed to be, you're supposed to jump around in these scriptures to connect everything together, man. Because that's how the Heavenly Father set it up. And his face as the appearance of lightning, so he was literally glowing. All right, like his the spiritual power, the wisdom that the Heavenly Father gave him, and with having a higher level of intelligence is a form of power. Salakia. And Yahweh Shai's face was the appearance of lightning because it was glowing. Now let's prove that point. This is Ecclesiastes 8 and 1. Who is as the wise man, and who knoweth the interpretation of a thing? A man's wisdom maketh his face to shine. So that's why the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai, face was the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet. So as we know in Revelations, it just mentioned his feet. Now it's mentioning his arms too, with his feet, like in color to polished brass. Now you go into polished brass, is going to the same thing as burnished brass, man. Let's prove that point. Burnished, polished, all right? So what they would do is that with the process of metal, they would burn it, and after they would burn it, they would make it shiny. They would rub it. That's why they call it polished or burnished. All right. So so the heavenly Yahweh Shai was a dark skinned man, a man of if he was walking around today, he would be known as a so-called black man, a man of color. Now, just to hammer the point with that, just to hammer the point, because this world still believes in this leprous Messiah, which is psychobabble. Luke 24. Luke 24. And we're going to get the red letter on this too. So this is Luke 24 and 39. Behold my hands and my feet, that it is I myself. Handle me and see me, for a spirit hath not flesh and bones as ye see me have. So Yahweh Shai just said his hands and his feet represents his flesh, all right, and his bones. So what does that mean? Yahweh Shai, whole entire body, all right, is dark skinned, right? Literally, all right. So he's not a so-called white man. He's not a so-called Arab. He's from the tribe of Judah, man. And let's get that, because I said in my previous video, Judah is black unto the ground. I know it's the book of Hebrews 7 and 14. For it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah. All right, so Yahweh Shai was from the tribe of Judah. Okay, I think that's it for this part two, this finale, right? Of revisiting the topic of color and shalom.